Here are 4 simple habits that will triple your earnings. I've been a businessman for over 20 years, and if there's one thing that I've learned in business is that efficiency is key. Being the fastest at what you do will make you better than the 99%. And by following these 4 simple habits, I personally was able to work 2 9-to-5 jobs at Barclays and McDonald's while owning multiple properties. These strategies are personally backed by my own experience, and I've even got studies to back this by. So before we get into this one, make sure to smash the subscribe button so you never miss out my financial literacy that I'm providing to you guys to get ahead. So let's get straight into it. Work smarter, not harder. Following this idea is one of the best strategies to boost your productivity. I used to think working long hours would mean bigger results, but it turns out that's not the case. Sometimes less is more. What do I mean by this? Well, research shows that working long hours leads to cognitive fatigue, which increases the chances of errors. This is especially true when the work you do needs high concentration. Think of this as a graph. Your X value is the hours worked and the Y value is the productivity. At first, the more hours you work, the more productive you get. But after a while, the graph slowly decreases because of fatigue, lack of concentration, and other factors. When I was at Barclays, I would get paid the same amount no matter what I was doing. I was meant to end the day at 5 o'clock when the banking hall was empty, but yet there was always something I had to do, like counting up the money, making sure my till balanced, and if there was a mistake, that balancing would take even longer. It was like after one task, there'd be like 5 more ready for me. So I'd get home much later than I was supposed to. It was almost like a cycle for me, but I decided to think out of the box. I started looking at people's accounts to find ways to help them. That way, I gave the bank more value, since rather than being transactional, I gave them more business. This showed that I had an initiative to do more than what was expected. And funnily enough, I was finishing at 5 without having to work long hours because I brought them more value to the bank that actually made me more money. This obsession to do better made me try every possible way to bring results. But it turns out this one trick, though it was so simple, was secretly the one thing I was missing all along. It's tracking my time. 2 hours of work doesn't mean you actually been working for 2 hours. It means you spent 20 minutes scrolling, 15 minutes checking emails, 10 minutes responding to messages, and 5 minutes looking at what to do. Just by taking the time to organize myself, I was able to know how much of my time was spent working and how much was spent procrastinating. I used Notion to track everything I do, from client meetings to tracking my properties to podcasts I have to do. Decision burnout. A study found that doctors were more likely to prescribe unnecessary antibiotics to patients throughout the workday due to decision fatigue. Early in the day, doctors were more sharp, but as they become fatigued, they choose to make easier but not necessarily correct decisions. This is what decision burnout is. The idea that is making a lot of decisions during the day causes you to struggle and burn out quickly. When your willpower fades and your brain is shutting down, it's quicker to just choose an easier way out. Just as the doctors who prescribed antibiotics just because it would make their life easier. Decision burnout happens throughout every day. Even the smallest of decisions will test your willpower. To prevent decision burnout, I plan everything ahead of time. What clothes I'll be wearing, what I'll be doing, where I'll be going, and who I'm meeting. Everything is planned ahead. So when I wake up, I don't have to make any small decisions because I've already set out a plan for the day. Now, it seems small and irrelevant, but this habit of always being prepared not only saves me a lot of time, but makes my life 10 times easier. The Art of Enjoying Work. I read a book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. She said in the book, in a growth mindset, challenges are exciting rather than threatening. So rather than thinking, oh, I'm going to reveal my weaknesses, you say, wow, I get a chance to grow. What does that mean? It means to be productive, and to be in the most productive state is to love what you do and see these challenges as opportunities rather than threats. Making these tweaks in your mind is how you level up in your life, because it doesn't matter how hard it is, everything is just a chance to learn, a chance to grow and succeed. Every day it's like I have my back against the wall. It's always felt like something would go wrong throughout the day. A late meeting, a client didn't turn up, last minute changes to a property. But when things are getting heavy for me, it's either I face it or run from it, because life is like a war and it's up to you to determine how much you want to succeed. A quote I like to live by is patience is bitter, but its fruits are sweet. Patience can help you maintain peace and support your soul with humility, faith, confidence, and trust. If I stopped and gave up on a property, or even closed this YouTube channel down because it was getting too stressful, I would never be successful, because it's just a mentality to never give up that will make you successful. And to have this mentality, you need this one thing: patience. Manipulating your environment. One of the easiest ways to get to financial freedom is to surround yourself by people who are also on that journey. You see, these people can be exactly where you are in your journey, or they could be a couple of steps ahead of you or a couple of steps behind you. But if you have friends, colleagues, relatives, or a network, you are all more likely to achieve financial freedom, since all of you are benefiting from this compounding effect of having like-minded people around you. So when your motivation dips, which it always will, having people around you who understand that same pain can lift you up again. If you're surrounded by people who have no aspirations or ambitions to achieving financial freedom, and who would rather much work just a simple 9 to 5 and go to the pub straight after work, you are far more unlikely to reach financial freedom. A study by Social Support and Performance found that support from colleagues, supervisors is linked directly to improved performance, reduced stress, and higher overall job satisfaction. So manipulating your environment revolves around you choosing the type of people you're surrounded yourself by. That's why I go to all these networking opportunities surrounded by people who are sometimes far more successful than myself, like how I met the Prime Minister of Albania. I hope you really enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to smash the subscribe button, and don't forget to leave me a comment. You can even suggest what other videos you'd like me to make, and I'll promise you I'll take that into consideration. So until then, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.